What is up, guys? It's your boy Blackrue back with another Steam Exchange AMA video. So today we're going to go over the Steam Exchange AMA on February 16th. Sorry, I got a little out of the loop with the holidays, but we're back at it here. So before we get started, let's cue Indigo Saint.
Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer? Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. Just thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
Okay, guys, let's get the screen share going here. Entire screen and share audio. Boom. So let's get the AMA started here. It's going to start with Nebo, and I'm just going to come in as need be and offer some comments on this. And after the Steam Exchange AMA, I just want to remind you guys a little bit of what I believe we have going here with Steam Exchange. And by the way, the relationship here, just so you guys know, I've been given no private tokens, nothing like that. I just like to cover Steam Exchange. The only agreement the Steam Exchange and I have is that I give my honest opinion on Steam Exchange, and they also allow you guys they post my videos in their Telegram. So it's an honest opinion on the Steam Exchange. I've been given no private tokens or nothing like that. So move on. So here we go.
We have a pretty solid quorum here, so we'll go ahead and get started. So good day as always.
We're gonna start it around one like 16, and we're also gonna put on closed captions for those who, just to make it better. And let me just make sure my volume is up here, guys, so you can hear it all at the best, highest quality. And we're gonna go 1.5 times speed, and we'll come back to things. Well, let's go 1.5 times. Now 1.25 is cool. So here we go. It's going to start with Neville. It's going to be talking about some things with learning, learning package. So here we are.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the AMA. So on the gamified learning front, we're making some pretty significant progress and quick. So we were anticipating Q2 for the first iteration of questions and answering and any kind of dialogue. But we're way ahead of schedule. So we actually have implemented now the initial questions and answers for the hub level. So like I always mentioned, the different levels of the game, the hub level is kind of your home world. And in your home world, you're going to be taught the game mechanics by speaking to the non-players, the NPCs. And then also they're going to start teaching you some of the terminology and words that you're going to hear frequently throughout your learning so you can become more acquainted with the knowledge that you're going to be receiving. So in the hub level, for example, when you go to a player, it would ask you a question, and it would ask you if you know a particular term. If your answer is yes or no, it will then educate you on that term. Once you've accomplished all the questions from level 1, it'll navigate you to the portal, the appropriate portal, and you can then teleport to the next level, which will be level 1.
So it's cool to get some kind of understanding on how the gamified learning is going to work. You have a hub level, like a home, and then it's going to ask you questions from there. I really like that. As far as I know, there's no one that's doing this gamified learning, especially like an exchange. So it's very awesome. And they're also going to kind of collect data on this gamified learning, and that data set could be very, very valuable. I'm not sure exactly how the team plans on using the data set, and how like the University of Waterloo is going to go about that data set, and who's going to have I guess monetary control over that data set, but I could see that data set being a very valuable thing in the future, for marketing, as far as like people who want to market education, crypto education to people. I can see that data set being a very valuable thing. So it'll be nice to get some clarity on how they plan to use that data set in the future. But it's good to get some breakdown right now of how the game works.
So far we have all the questions and answers in place for level 1 and the hub, and we will be demoing that very soon. We're thinking about putting it online on a web page, which will be mobile friendly, accompanied by a, feedback response form, or also a live chat I mentioned previously. So that should be coming very soon, hopefully within the next, within February. So the next couple.
Okay, I just want to break this down, just give you like some little talks on what this is right here. So idealization, I believe, to execution. Ideation, excuse me. Ideation to execution. So we got like kind of goal number 1 here, or step number 1 here. I think it would start here. So goals: increased adoption of the Steam Exchange and the Rails network, scalable, innovative, and trusted layer 1 blockchain and trading ecosystem, help integrate into Web 2 brands, and help integrate Web 2 brands into Web 3. So for me, that means like you're moving from the Web 2 to Web 3, and Web 3 to me is more of like who's kind of in control of the data. So moving into data controlled space, excuse me. So end user, digital assets, digital asset needs service under one roof, ease of use, sleek UI, UX, ecosystem growth and expansion ensures all future client needs are met. Okay. And then here we have all your digital asset trading needs under one roof. So safely, securely, and understand that's going to be with a DEX, with a SEX, like a centralized exchange, a decentralized exchange. That's going to be, eventually an NFT platform, also a launch pad as well. So all those needs plus education all under one roof, right? So stakeholders facilitate growth and onboarding of the Rails network blockchain. And this is going to be for people, maybe of the launch pad, any developers that are going to come on and use the Rails network blockchain, facilitate the growth of that, okay? Differentiate, verifiable trust instilled layer 1 blockchain, heavy vetting processes for onboarding, and let me close that down. Real world partnerships and integrations ahead of the curve mindset and focus on education. Okay. Future sustainable state of developers, investors, and funnel of new projects. Cross-chain integrations to service all digital need assets. Cross-chain integrations to service all digital asset needs. And they're going to get into that more when they start talking about how the centralized exchange and decentralized exchange are going to break down. Household brand associated with trust, scalability, and innovation. And here we have number 6, team. Experienced team to facilitate execution. Previous experience with large-scale infrastructure projects, cross-chain Web 2 networking, growth and expansion of talent. Okay. So we're going to get into all of that as Neville and eventually Chris begin to speak coming up right here. Just wanted to break that down so you guys didn't necessarily have to read it while Neville was talking here. So let's get back to it here. Go back just a second.
Level, which will be level 1. So far we have all the questions and answers in place for level 1 and the hub. and we will be demoing that very soon. We're thinking about putting it online on a web page, which will be mobile friendly, accompanied by a, I guess, feedback response form, or also a live chat I mentioned previously. So that should be coming very soon, hopefully within the next, within February, so the next couple of weeks. So we're pretty close on that. So you'll get your chat, you'll get to finally play the game in its first version. It is very buggy. I will forewarn you. There is a lot of little kinks that we set to work out, but hopefully we can iron out as much as possible before we release this beta.
So I'm glad that Neville let you know that it was really buggy, and that's how it tends to be with any type of programming. If you guys don't know my background, I am a software engineer. I work for like a medical company, but software is buggy, so you gotta test it, and we'll be like on the forefront. All us different users, all us different people who are interested in the platform, we can go on, test it out, like tell certain bugs that we're gonna encounter, and just help move things along. I'm okay totally with where they are at personally. Of course, not financial advice, but let's move on.
Beta. With the feedback from that, the team at Waterloo will go and fix the things that they have to fix. They will continue implementing the knowledge engine, and then we move into phase 2 of the gamified learning, where the student that we're currently working with will move on and continue with her PhD, and we're going to receive another PhD student that will be specialized in different expertise to help us continue pushing this this initiative forward.
Okay, so that'll be something for us to watch for, to see when they get this new PhD student, what's their name, check them out on LinkedIn, see how they plan to contribute to the project. But right now, they're moving on from this other student because they're about to graduate and move to the next step of their career. So now they're going to get another student, and another student will have a different focus. But that's something for us to watch out for, to get the student's name, do a little research and background on the student, and see what they can contribute and how they can help the project moving forward.
So definitely stay tuned for that. A lot of exciting things coming for gamified learning, and also for the partnership with the University of Waterloo. Definitely stay tuned for that. I'll pass it back to Chris.
Okay. I also, one of the things, I don't know if I've ever touched on this before, I like that they have the partnership with University of Waterloo. That's kind of gonna edge out marketing for them, because you already got the university working with you. So as things get hot in crypto, you can kind of market to the university. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, this is an exchange that's going to be in Canada, going to have rights for Canada and the US, maybe more, right? But you're already servicing people in Canada by having this connected to the university, right? So that's built-in advertisement right there. Once the crypto market gets hot, a lot of the kids at the university are probably going to be very interested in getting themselves their own crypto account. Okay, so that's one thing to be said right there. Let's go and listen to what Chris is going to say here. He's going to talk a little bit about the UI enhancements and optimizing the decks and stuff like that. And you'll hear it coming up here. I want to go just.
Thanks, Nev. Yeah, and definitely on that front is
I just want to go just a tad bit faster, actually.
a lot of heavy lifting being done by all the teams that are plugged in, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing that demo. I know I've had a chance to see some of the interconnected pieces, and it's pretty fun. I can say that much. So thank you. All right, so let's step through the infrastructure updates, starting with the TuneX and our platform, right? Now, as for our last update and previous ones prior to, we've been doing our best to keep you guys abreast with the ongoing hurdles our external partners continue to face. Again, nonetheless, they remain pretty grounded and focused on the task at hand and continue to chip away, as always, right? If you've had a chance to take a recent look at the beta.cmexchange.io, you would definitely notice continued UI enhancements, as well as experience more of a smoother look and feel navigation-wise.
So if you go take a look at the beta, we're not going to do that today, but you guys can go ahead and go on there and take a look at the beta, and there's smoother UI enhancements, and as Chris just said, there's a smoother workflow to the GUI, and that's always nice. You don't want someone going on there and having complications to just sell or use the platform. You want to make that as smoothly as possible.
right? So this will continue to be optimized in the coming weeks and months. For now, this platform is not critical path. And when I say not critical path, we did speak about our interim deck solution. So, we'll keep running this swim lane in conjunction with that. However, it is not critical path for us launching with the interim deck solution. So as we receive the additional downstream updates from the team, we'll do our best to bring you guys in these updates, and any applicable things that are worth demoing, we'll continue to toss up there. But we do encourage you, based on our last AMA and the instructions that were received for the community, to go ahead and continue to play around with the environment, right? So I guess let's shift gears over to our internal development front, where the team is.
So like it's available right now. You can go on the beta and play around here if you want to. So just know that that's available, and he's going to give more updates as they're necessary. He's going to get into a few more updates about the Block Explorer coming up here and the Launchpad.
Team is locked in, right? On all the required components to ensure we have a smooth, safe, and seamless migration, right? So one of the big hitters there is obviously the Rails network overall readiness, right? Which the team has a.
Okay, so understand too, we're going to have a migration coming up. So what we see right now is not the current, or will not be the tokenomics moving forward. Okay, there will be a migration. So just to let you guys know, coming over here and looking at it right now, there will be a migration. The max supply will not be 100 million, or excuse me, 100 billion. And that makes things, I think it's going to be really good for the price, actually. So if we look over the last couple of days, we just seen a little bit of growth, moving up here. But for the last, excuse me, geez. So last month, we've seen some upward motion, just like everything else in crypto, right? And it's been pretty much chilling in the like high four, 0.00046 area, which is good. And I think slow and steady wins the race here. What we really want them to be is ready for the next bull run. The next time Bitcoin halves is in 2024, May 2024, May or March 2024. So if it takes a little while, to me, that is okay. You want to kind of get things mostly in line for the next bull run. So if it takes all the way till, I'm not saying that it will, I'm not saying that it will, and they're going to tell us some more about that coming up. So I'll wait for that coming up, but and then we'll have the conversation. But just want you guys to know the tokenomics as you see them here are going to change. Now, if we scroll down, you can buy a Steam Exchange on PancakeSwap for right now. Okay, so let's continue on, and we'll talk some more about how long it's going to take in just a second here.
Has a pretty good handle on right now. There are some things in terms of documentation that we're still plugging away to make sure that we have locked and loaded, and continued optimization to make sure that the environment is stable and is performing where we need it to be. This also includes the integration with the interim DEX, which Neville will touch on a little bit more. The interim DEX will back into our blockchain, so that integration is obviously key to.
Now, I know a lot of people have been hearing a lot of things. So Chris is just talking about the DEX. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with, well, there's another blockchain, there was another exchange that was talking about having a focus on DeFi. And it was really shocking to me because everything I heard about DeFi is, okay, it's a threat to the banks. People aren't going to want it around because it's a threat to the banks. But when this other exchange said something about having a focus both in CeFi and DeFi, it really woke me up to the fact that, okay, no matter what people are saying about DeFi being a threat to banks, if these exchanges have such a big push towards DeFi, it's not going anywhere, okay? And the specific exchange I was talking about is LCX. They happen to be members of the World Economic Forum and whatnot. So when you hear them talking about DeFi, it's like, okay, hey, DeFi is going to be around. So don't sleep on the fact that this is going to have a DEX. That's going to be very important. Okay, so just don't sleep on that. That's very, very important.
To success, right? That's a huge one for our teams there. We have continued Rails network smart contract work, which is being performed as well. And then on the management system side of the ball, now that's more for us, but obviously how we're managing the blockchain on a day-to-day basis and being able to support the community from that perspective. We have that in place, and we're continuing to optimize it to make sure that it fits our needs and it will fit the community needs when that set time does come. We also have optimization and readiness for the Block Explorer, which we demoed, I want to say a few weeks back, or probably over a month back. That will continue to.
Okay, so the Block Explorer, and that might have been the AMA I missed. I might have to go back and do a video on that so you guys can get some information on that. But they're going to need the Block Explorer so you can see how fast the blockchain is moving and see, most importantly, your transactions. Okay, so they're saying there's continued work going on the Block Explorer as well.
Expand on the Block Explorer, and that's also going to include the upgrades of our validation modules to ensure that that's as seamless as possible too. And then in terms of the pre-sale and launchpad, that's what will be the big ticket item for helping ensure that the users can swap over to the native, and then also too, not only that, but that will be the landing zone where our said projects which we have brought through the ringer and validated embedded will be leveraging to launch projects as well too, right? So overall, we continue to maintain a high degree of confidence in what's in front of us to support this migration from an infrastructure, and we'll continue to ensure that security. And I'm definitely not stuttering there, but security is number one in terms of top of our mind, right? Again, this is not by any means a sprint. We need to continue to think longevity in terms of being able to launch and build an ecosystem that's going to be sustainable for years to come. So at this juncture right now, that's what we have for you from an infrastructure update, and we'll continue to pull in the information as it's ready to available.
Yeah, security is going to be a big one. They're going to make sure that they're audited. I'm sure they're going to make sure that all the loops, dots, and T's and I's are crossed so that this thing is secure as possible. Okay, it's an exchange. You want to make sure that happens, and that's why he mentioned security like 3 times, because it is that important. All right, and just by him mentioning it 3 times, you can see that Chris understands that there's an important security, and he's going to have it happen that way, right? So let's move on here.
Available. So right now we'll kind of switch gears and we'll step back over here to the interim DEX.
Thanks so much, Chris. So for the interim DEX, we have 2 kind of solutions that we're working with. Both of them are about, I would say, 50 to 60% completed. The first one is a DEX that allows you to trade to any chain that you would like by selecting a particular chain. So the layout. So
we're going to have a multi-chain DEX. That's going to be amazing. You're going to want to go to different chains like, okay, Ethereum, Cardano, what have you, right? Polkadot, Cosmos. You're going to want to go to different chains, and then you're going to want to make that easy. So they're trying to make that easy. Now understand, this would be very cool for someone. They're now learning the education about it, and they're also learning that they can also have crypto on multiple chains. So this works really, really well because you're training and you're educating your potential, customer, or if you will, but really you can almost think of exchanges as banks. So you're educating your bank client almost, how to use you, how crypto works, and how to kind of navigate these different cross-chain events, different cross-chain platforms, cryptos. So that's going to be very, very cool to have a multi-chain ability here with the DEX. Okay.
Layout of it, I wish I could show you it, but I can't show you it yet. You would have 2 tabs. Essentially, you would have the first tab saying Rails Network, which would show you all the pairs that are currently associated with Rails Network. And then the second tab would just be called DEX. And through that, you would have a drop-down menu, and you can select the chain that you can trade to or you would like to trade with by connecting your wallet to the appropriate chain. The second solution, which is a little bit more complicated, but takes full advantage of the infrastructure that we have set up, would be same thing. You would have 2 tabs. The first tab would say Rails, same thing. It would have all the particular pairs that have launched on the Rails network, any other projects that have launched with us. For example, when we migrate, would be listed under Rails. And
Okay, let's just take a little look at this and read it so we don't have to, read it while Neville's talking here. So one thing to note is a 5-month window on this. And I'm going to talk on that more in just a second, but let me read this first for you. Product readiness, siloed product development, Rails network, interim DEX, trading platform, quick swap, advanced swap. Quick swap, advanced. Blockchain Explorer, Launchpad. So these are the major products here. The Rails network, their interim DEX, the trading platform where you can do quick swaps or an advanced trading, Blockchain Explorer, and a Launchpad. Okay. Documentation, GitHub sync, white paper update, Rails network detailing, developer handbook, developer application process, migration guide, Launchpad, DEX, Explorer, instructional guide. Okay. Backend integrations, collate and optimize integrations for Rails network, interim DEX solution, Blockchain Explorer, Launchpad, trading platform, quick swap, and advanced. Marketing ramp up, deploy supporting brand collateral, developer application and referral program, engagement with BSC communities, which is cool. All this is cool. Understand, again, they have kind of like already built in marketing because they're doing this with University of Waterloo. So they already have the students there that can become potential clients or users of the platform. Cross-chain engagement, wrapping up guided campaigns for on-ramping global user base, post-migration Discord transition. And Viraf Inky, he is not on this particular AMA. So we'll hear from him about more marketing in the next AMA, but he is not on this one currently, okay? He had some stuff come up. He's just not on this one, okay? Just want to let you know that. Stress testing and audits, external third-party audits for self-developed code across products, volume testing and potential bug fixes. So auditing is going to be very important. You need an audit to make sure that things are not hackable. And even still after that, even after an audit, the audit makes things feel a lot more safer, but you still have to be like heavily on top of it, even if you're audited. Migration readiness, end-to-end testing, native coin claim process. That's for the migration again. So migration readiness, support staff onboarding, documentation and resource center, 24/7 monitoring of all servers and internal systems. That's the migration to Rails blockchain network. Migration to Rails network blockchain, excuse me. So 5-month window. I'm okay with the 5-month window. Again, I told you guys, the closer we can get to the Bitcoin halving, I think is better for Steam Exchange. If the exchange is open right now, you're dealing, if it was open just like right this second, you're still like so many months away from the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin halvings are when things tend to be bullish. Right now is a kind of accumulation phase, but really most people don't start accumulating until things start really getting popping. So the fact that they're taking a 5-month window, I think is actually better. This is my personal opinion. This is not like Steam Exchange's opinion. This is my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. This is just what I think personally, okay? I think it's better because it puts it closer towards the bull run. If it's available in 5 months, that puts us out to like, what is that? July, August. And I thoroughly believe here that it's possible that the bull run can start in November. Okay, not May, where the Bitcoin halves. I think it could start a little early. So if we're ready around the July, August, September area, I think that will bode very, very, very well for Steam Exchange. Okay, so I know people are going to see the 5-month window and be a little upset maybe, but I'm actually happy about it because it's closer. It puts it out closer towards the bull run. Check out some of my previous videos on Steam Exchange. I'm very consistent in this. I've been very consistent in this and saying the closer they get towards the bull run to open, it will be better for the exchange, in my opinion. I've been very consistent on this, so don't be like, okay, Blackrue or Ruell, you're flipping. No, I'm not. I've been very consistent on that fact that, hey, the closer they get towards the bull run, if they can open closer towards the bull run, the better it will be for the exchange. So I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm very okay with that. And again, I've showed you. You can check out some of the previous videos. You can go look up various different exchanges. It is very lucrative to invest in exchanges. This is my opinion, again, not Steam Exchange's opinion. This is from me, and it's not financial advice. I'm just telling you my investing strategy and stuff like that. That's all I'm doing. Okay. I'm very high on this because if you look at different exchanges, I'm not going to bring them up right now. You can go through my previous Steam Exchange videos and you can see it. If you look up things like LCX, things like KuCoin, things like, if you look at those different coins, you can see they go bullish during the bull market. They go very bullish. So that's the opportunity you have here. You're investing in an exchange on the ground floor. That's the opportunity you have. Can't get that with too many regulated exchanges. This is going to be regulated. They're going to have their audits in place. This is a business first there, okay? So they're going to have all that regulated stuff in place. That's going to be very, very, very good for us to be invested in regulated exchange on the ground floor. So let's continue here and here, Neville.
And the second tab would then be called the DEX again, but through there you can trade without selecting a chain. So you would connect your wallet, and through your wallet you would have an asset, let's say on Binance Smart Chain. Let's say you have BSC Ethereum, pegged Ethereum, you want to swap it over to Ethereum mainnet. You would be able to do that through the swap by swapping it from pegged to mainnet Ethereum native coin. So that's going to be seamless, almost like a bridge, but not quite a bridge. And on the back end, we'll handle all the bridging for you. So that's kind of the two solutions that we have in mind. Like I mentioned, they're both about 50 to 60% complete. Instead of showing you what it looks like, what we're thinking about doing is probably putting it online, a V1 and a V2, and having you navigate to it and take a look at it. It won't be live. You won't be able to trade on it until we are ready to take transactions, but you can at least see what it looks like and how it's going to function. So that's the interim DEX solution. It's coming along pretty well. Once we have the aggregator set up, what's going to happen is once you put your trade in, you'll get a pop-up saying it's going to be fetching the best price. It's going to go through all of our liquidity pools that we have integrated via API and other means, and it'll pull the best price from the best pool, and then it's going to execute your trade. It all happens through smart contracts. So what you're going to be essentially doing is once you've executed your trade, you've given approval for your trade to take place, the smart contract will take over. It will then go and fetch the price. It'll get the best price for you. You're going to approve that price, and then it's going to execute your trade. So it's a little bit complicated, but again, the solution's already in place on our 2nex solution. So it's not something that we're reinventing. It's something that already exists and that we're going to be implementing.
So basically, it's going to try to give you the best price when you're using that DEX to swap. It's going to do things it does with smart contracts to go look for the best price, get it for you, and execute it
on this interim solution. So like Chris mentioned, the swap is obviously the most fundamental for the migration. It would make no sense for us to migrate to our chain without being able to facilitate trading. So what we're going to be doing is putting heavy focus on the DEX, integrating it with Rails network, and trying to get as ready as possible for the switch over to the Rails network.
All right.
Sorry, Chris. Is this a slide you wanted, Chris? Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're good. You're good. All right, so I guess Neville, let's talk a little bit about migration readiness, right, and the overall lay of the land per se, right? So I won't sit here and kind of repeat myself with regards to what we need to do for readiness, right? But you can kind of see from our product readiness, documentation, backend integrations. These are a lot of things that will be required to get us to the point of migration readiness, right? And they're all critical path, with the exception, like I said, of the trading platform. They are running in conjunction with our interim tech solution, but nonetheless, this is why what you're seeing here. Now, you might be wondering.
And we went over that a little bit, like. These are all siloed. They're all kind of happening at the same time. But getting all of these things ready, you want to make sure that they take their full and total time, that nothing has a problem, that, they are going to be audited. So, if something does have a problem, the auditor will catch it. They'll go back and go fix it, make sure it works out right. And then, once the auditor passes it, cool, we're good to go. Okay, but you want to make sure that they do this in the best way possible. I don't know, like I said before, guys, I'm a software engineer, so I know these things take time. They take time. They just take time. Okay, but like I said, for me, good. It's great that it's going to take time. I want the exchange to open closest to the bull market as possible. The best time for me would be around the November area, because I really think things are going to go bullish by. It may go bullish by November. So if they can get ready by the November time, but even if they're a little bit later, it's better than being early. Okay, because you don't want the exchange to kind of be opened in a dull time in the market. You really don't want that. You want it to be open in a popping time in the market, when everything's bullish, when things are great for NFTs, all of that type of stuff. And that's what it's looking like with the 5-month window. Okay, if they open anytime towards the July, or if it takes a little bit longer than July, there's a little wiggle room before November. So July, August, September, hey, perfectly fine for me, because it will be closer towards the board. Okay.
Wondering, you see the 5-month window at the bottom, and wondering, hey, why 5 months, right? Again, it's not about a sprint, right? What we're also considering too is, it's not just enough to put a product out there, right? You need to be able to have the appropriate time for a marketing ramp up, stress testing, audits, and migration readiness, right? So again, our goal is to have this as seamless and smooth as possible, and hence the reason what you're seeing here, right? Marketing ramp up is definitely a huge one for us. Unfortunately, we don't have Vera here to kind of speak to it in detail, but you guys get the idea with regards to.
Okay, so he said, I'll see it seamless. He wanted to go seamless as possible, and he's talking about the marketing here. I told you guys before, Vera isn't here, so we'll have to get him on a next AMA.
Having a product is one thing, but having the appropriate foot traffic behind that product is another thing as well too, right? So they kind of go hand in hand in terms of making sure that we're doing the appropriate marketing, the appropriate collaborations, and getting out there from an overall voice perspective, getting the interest that we need. That way, when we do launch, it's boots to the ground and we're running, right? Stress testing and audits obviously is another huge one. We will not be launching without any audits, right? We need to make sure that this thing checks all the boxes. We've done all the appropriate due diligence, and if there's anything else that gets called off from the audit, then we need to go back and do what we need to do, right? So definitely marketing ramp up and stress testing is a huge one, and audits, and then the migration readiness, right? Just making sure that we, again, have our T's, cross our T's and dot our I's. We are in the best position possible to ensure that when we do launch, we have the appropriate support mechanisms in place to support the community. We're not going to launch and leave everyone high and dry, right? This is something that we need to make sure that, we are fully locked and ready to support the demand that comes with launching. Nev, you want to add?
So see, I love the honesty. I love the upfrontness, not launching and leaving everybody high and dry. We want to make sure that we have everything ready, perfectly ready, to launch. Okay. And, if that means checking it twice, checking it 3 times, making sure, to go through the audit, redoing things that might, don't pass the audit. It's perfect. It's perfect. That's exactly what we want as investors. We don't want anything rushed just to get it out, like in a sloppy manner. Okay, we want everything done like this, or at least I do personally. I don't know about you, but I do. So let's continue here.
add anything to that?
For sure. So yeah, like Chris mentioned, it does say 5-month window at the bottom, but that doesn't mean that it could potentially take the full 5 months. There's a lot of readiness that has to take place, as you can see on the screen. Once we're ready and we're confident and we've passed our audits, we can launch anytime within that 5-month window, but we're giving ourselves that much runway to make sure that.
And again, guys, Neville's like, look, it doesn't necessarily have to take 5 months, but if it does, I'm cool with it. Go ahead, take all those 5 months. Stress test it again. Get some white hat hackers in here. Let the white hat hackers bang on it. Take the full 5 months. Stress test, take it all. Take it all. Make sure that the bridges are not a source of failure where someone can hack into the bridges. And Neville said it would be kind of like a bridge, but not exactly, which is good because if you guys know anything about like bridges are like a source that hackers like to bang on and hack into the system. So that's going to have to be very, 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 very thoroughly stress tested. Let a white hat hacker bang on it, pay him. If he finds a loophole, like take as much of those 5 months as you need because we want it to be solid. It's fine. Take those. We want it closer towards the bull run, or personally, I want it closer towards the bull run. Do it everything you need to be totally lock solid until then. Okay. Have the white hat hackers come in. That's a very important thing. I don't know if that's something they plan on doing, but that would be cool to, on top of the audits, to have little white hat hackers come in and try to mess something up, try to hit critical areas that could possibly be threats for a hacker to come in, like the bridges, like the cross-chain swaps. Yeah, please hit all of those.
Make sure that we can deliver a product that is, acceptable, and beyond acceptable, I would say, because from day one, we've never said that we want to release a product just for the sake of releasing it. We want to release a product that is, complete. Number one, it's functional and it has a disruptive functionality that other products don't have, right? So that way you're not just using another swap, for example, you're not just using another exchange. There's benefits to using our ecosystem. So we're definitely going to continue plugging away. Like I mentioned in the DEX update, we are 50 to 60% complete with that. And like Chris mentioned, this is not a sprint to complete development. This is a sprint to be ready for migration. Yeah. And it's a big step for us, right? We've been working towards this moment for a long time. All of us, including you as our community, we've all been waiting patiently, including us with development. So, all of it coming together now and being right there is a very wholesome feeling. And we're extremely excited to push forward and get this done.
Right on. And something else I want to talk to is with regards to the developer application, right, and referral program. That's something, on the back end, we've definitely been getting poked with that interest, right? So we're also tapping into these developer communities, getting the word out there and kind of, shaking hands from that perspective, right, and getting that interest, right? We've always said that, it's not just about the trading, it's about getting developers on board in conjunction with Steam Exchange and getting them into the ecosystem and playing around, right? And you can definitely see, other quite popular, and won't name any, but other blockchains out there that are definitely along the same lines where they have that developer interest. They can come in, create applications, and overall help bolster that sustainability.
So it seems like there's already some developers that have an idea of something that they want to do on Steam Exchange. So Chris and Neville are going to talk about that a little bit. That's exciting to me, that there are already developers that want to do things, launch things on the exchange. That's very, very exciting.
In the ecosystem, right? So it's definitely a huge one. And my goal would be, again, in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, we can kind of, without naming names, get you guys an idea of what kind of projects are expressing their interest in potentially doing work with Steam Exchange and in our ecosystem. And it's pretty fun to see and pretty exciting to hear that developers are willing and curious to come onto our blockchain, see what we have to offer, and do work with us, right? So it's definitely a lot.
For sure, it's definitely so the few people that have approached us, they're definitely fun projects. So not so. I keep saying this, right? We're our project is a little bit dull and boring in the sense that we're launching a platform and ecosystem, and then we rely on developers to bring the fun to the table. So the two projects, at least the two projects that Chris is talking about, are definitely.
And see, that's not dull and boring to me. That they have. I know what Neville's saying there. Like, it's not, latest flashy NFT, come and get it, come and buy, because this famous influencer is doing this, Logan Paul, you know what I mean? Or this guy or that guy. So it's not flashy, exciting like that. But for those who know what exchanges do on bull runs, it's very flashy and exciting for me, because I know how lucrative exchanges can be. I know how getting on the ground floor of exchanges, that's very lucrative and exciting for me. It's very lucrative and exciting for me. Just let me just go for just a second and just show you guys what I'm talking about, because it's been a while since we've done it. So
definitely fun, right? And definitely different from what we're trying to accomplish. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to learn more about, I guess, how we're working.
that's a little creeptastic because I didn't press the button there. I don't know how that happened, but we're just gonna roll with it. We just gonna keep going. Oh, that was something. I didn't press the button at all. Okay, so KuCoin, for example. Let's just look at when it first started and like the possible multipliers one could have by investing in KuCoin when it first started. Okay, back here it says like 72 cents, right? So that's like what, a good 10x from here, where it is right now today. But in a bull run, see how it went in the bull run? This was the first bull run here, back here, because Bitcoin halved in 2026, okay? So it went all the way up to 20 something dollars. Then we have the little bear market after the bull run, because the bull runs tend to be like two years or so. And then Bitcoin halved right here in May 2020. Then you had a couple months, and then boom, back all the way up to 28. So understand, we're like around right here. We're around here, okay? Because what is this, 2023? So Bitcoin halving is on May of 2024. So we're about a year before that. So we're like over here, I guess, because May 2020, when Bitcoin halved, it was right here. So we're like over here. That's why I'm telling you guys, if they do it over around like this area, I'm completely okay with it because it's closer towards the bull run. Okay, let's give one more example, and then let's say LCX. Okay. Sitting at 10 cents now. Let's see about when it first opened. All the way over here, right? This is kind of where we are with Steam Exchange, where it's 0.0000 something, right? Then hit a bull run here, right? Goes right here. Oh, actually Bitcoin launched right here. You see this is the perfect example of what I mean. They launched right before the bull run. Okay, they launched right before Bitcoin halved. Bitcoin halved like around May 2020. So it kind of ran right into the bull run, and then boom, things started getting bullish. They went from 0.0000 something all the way up to 50 cents. I'm not guaranteeing that with Steam Exchange, but this gives us a blueprint. This sets precedent for us, right? You see how they launched at the perfect time? This is exactly a use case for what I'm talking about. This is exactly a use case for what I'm talking about here. Okay? So Could we get something like that? We could. Let's see if there's one other example that I can give. Bitmark token. Let's just see. Right? Let's just see. Another exchange, they're smaller. They're not as big as LCX as far as like LCX is a member of the World Economic Forum and all of that. But another one, like you see how they kind of opened way too early. So it just sat here for all this time. It just sat. This is a use case for why you don't really want to do that. It just sat here for a while because they were opened like in 2018, right? 2 years before the Bitcoin halving. This is a perfect example. One of LCX, what you want to do, one of what you don't really want to do. So over here, it's like in the low ones or whatever. Excuse me. Even afterwards made it to 0.00 something. But then the bull run all the way up to 40 cents. Of course, now down to 10. But this is an example of what we can do. Saw three different exchanges. Okay. I can give you some other ones, but I think we proved the point here with 3. So this is what we're talking about. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. This is why I'm excited about this project. Okay. And we got 3 different examples right there just to prove it to you there. So let's keep going here.
We're working with them to get this up and going and up and running. So exciting times ahead. Like I mentioned, we're extremely close. Don't let this 5-month window deter you and your motivation towards migration. It's just giving us the runway that we need to make sure this happens.
Not deterred.
Well said.
We just saw it, right? Didn't we just?
Okay. So from my end,
not deterred at all. Not deterred.
I don't have anything else to bring forward to there. So I believe, and Neville, unless you have something else to add, I believe we can kind of conclude today's AMA. And hopefully, the next AMA, we will have a little bit more to bring forward. At least from a demo perspective, we would like to at least show you guys a little bit more. We're talking to it, and you guys are obviously digesting this information. But if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to obviously engage in the chat as always, and our teams will be there accordingly.
For sure. And, this is the time to kind of begin pushing the idea, right? Or not the idea, rather, like the migration. There's a lot of investors that have been here for a long time. A lot of them maybe forgot about us, but are still invested. A lot of them sold a long time ago, thinking that we wouldn't reach this point. But now that we're here, part of the marketing campaign that we're planning is to go back into these communities that we were once, part of, to the AMAs again, to outreach to these investors that are still here, who are not following along, and or investors that did drop off along the way, and just kind of show them where we are, where we're heading, and what's coming down the pipe. And then it's our job as a community to also do the same thing. So any of your friends that you know that were part of Steam Exchange at one point, or are part of Steam Exchange who are no longer following along, it's time to give them a nudge and say, hey, get ready for my.
So that makes a good point. Being sure to re-engage with people. There was a member of my community that was like, hey, it's time to do another Steam Exchange video, because I'd fallen out of the loop here. I still hold my tokens. I'm still great about I still feel great about the project. Go out there and re-engage with people, okay? And that's pretty much the end of the AMA here. I'm going to be more diligent at keeping track. Towards the end of the year last year, things kind of got out of phase with the two AMAs every week, or AMA every 2 weeks, excuse me. So we're back on it here. I know people at the Steam Exchange, they do keep abreast of the AMA here. So if you guys have any questions, they I believe they watch these videos. So if you have any questions, be sure to post them there. And if they don't watch and answer, I'll try to get you guys an answer. I do make sure I kind of keep an eye on what's going on. Or I tried to keep an eye on what's going on in Telegram or whatnot. Now, I definitely check my comments. So if you guys have a direct question, I'll try to get it to them, if I don't know the answer myself. So thank you guys for coming on. Be sure to be on the lookout for more AMA content. Some of the past AMA content you can find right on my channel over here. It's www.darkhorsewatcher.com, and you can come right over to the channel. You can see I have a Steam Exchange playlist. It's one of a few playlists that I have kind of called out on my channel. As soon as this pops up, moving slowly. Be sure to come over here and like and subscribe as well. If you come on down here, you see there is a Steam Exchange playlist right here with tons of AMA videos, right? And if you look at my videos, you think I might not have done videos in a long time. It's because I do many lives now. So be sure not only to look at the video category, but also to look in the live category, because YouTube in their infinite wisdom decided to separate videos from lives. Just a regular recorded videos from lives. I don't know why. But I do videos all the time, at least 3 every week. Be sure to come on over to the channel and like and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one, guys. Peace.